2020, episode number 113. I can't find good rentals with my realtor. This is 39.6 Facebook and YouTube Live Finance Show. This is the show that teaches high earners like yourselves how to make your money work for you so you don't have to work for your money. Talk general investing, taxes, real estate, syndications, Airbnb, paying for college, paying for childcare, and even the car you drive. Today's topic, I can't find good rentals with my realtor. All right. I get a lot of people who reach out to me who are interested in real estate, and they're trying to find rental properties. Okay, and they say, I can't find a property with good numbers. Okay, somebody had messaged me earlier on Facebook saying that they can't find good rentals with their realtor. Okay, this is not surprising. Okay, and this is somebody who lives in my area. A lot of people who are getting started trying to get involved in real estate initially go to single family homes. That's what a lot of people talk about. That's how a lot of people get started. So they're like, okay, let's go find a rental property. I want to invest in real estate. So then they go on to Zillow and they start looking for properties. And if somebody can see this on my screen, please let me know. Often it doesn't get shown properly, but they go into Zillow, and I'm in Dallas. Okay. A lot of people reach out to me. They're like, oh, I'm also in Dallas. Guess what? Dallas has like the best economy. Like fundamentally, it's one of the best locations in the entire country on an economic basis. Very diversified economy. A bunch of Fortune 500 companies already here and more coming here all the time. Okay. So you have a lot of job security because there's a growing population of people who have money. Okay. You also live in a place where long-term your own homestead will likely have pretty good appreciation over the long haul because a lot of people are moving here, people with jobs. Okay. What happens? That drives markets up for both housing and for rent. What has happened over here over the past 5 years? Property values have gone up a lot. Rents have gone up a lot. However, housing prices overall, especially at the median level, have gone up faster than rent in a lot of areas. Okay. So people who are getting started, they go look on MLS, look on Zillow because they don't have MLS access. And this is what Zillow looks like in Dallas right now. For a 3-bedroom, 2-bath property. These are like standard rental properties. Okay, rented. I put in a filter of $100,000 to $350,000. Okay, there is like no inventory right now. Okay, this is a very big city, and all of these properties that are $100,000 to $350,000 are going to be more at the outskirts. And let's just go ahead and click on one of these. Okay, please, if someone can confirm they can actually see something, I would appreciate it because it doesn't always show up. But just to kind of do a quick rundown of a property, this property is $334,000. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,700 square feet. It's been on Zillow for 78 days, saved 120 times, built in 1955. It's on a 9,000 square foot lot. It's priced at about $200 a square foot, just under $200 a square foot, single family home. It was tax appraised at $334,000 2 weeks ago for a tax bill of $2,200 last year. And it has a rental estimate of $2,000 per month, a rent zestimate. Okay, so there's nothing glaringly wrong with this property, and it's in a fine location. You look at the trim out, and fine. Looks like it would be a pretty reasonable rental. It's not super nice, but there's nothing glaringly bad about it. For a lot of people, this is a very nice place to live, and it's in a pretty reasonable location. The median home price in DFW, sales-wise, has been around the lower 300s. So this is like a median priced property, okay? If this rents out at $2,000 a month, and we just look quick numbers, $2,000 per month, and I divide that by the initial selling price, 334, okay, times 100, and that gives me, 0.6%. Okay, so a monthly rent is 0.6% of the selling price. So if you were to get a mortgage on a property like this for $250,000, it might be, like $1,000 a month mortgage, and then you're paying property tax, all in. This could be, if you put 20% down, I haven't done all the numbers, but it would probably be a little bit less than $2,000 a month. But then you don't have any money left for anything, for vacancy, for repairs, for anything else. The more money you put down, the more likely you'll be able to cash flow, but the numbers just aren't that strong. This is like maybe a break-even property, but this is a house, and there are expensive things to repair, and maintenance and repairs in Dallas are A, hard to find, and B, expensive because the demand is so high. There's not enough labor, not enough materials. It's hard, a lot harder than it is in other cities because there's so much demand for construction. Okay, so going on to Zillow is going to likely leave you with not many good options. When a lot of people are moving here, properties get bought up. Things that are good deals that are publicly available on retail sites are going to be gone because they're retail. Everybody can see them. Okay. Now, realtors, their job is to make money, just like anybody else's for-profit job. Okay. They want to sell you stuff. Realtors in general have a conflict of interest when you're working with them because their goal is just to make a commission. Now, are all realtors just going to be looking for their commission? Not necessarily, but that's how they get paid, right? So you have to be cognizant of how they're getting paid. Now, certainly there are going to be some realtors who are more friendly with investors, investor-friendly realtors. And you need to find those people if you're really looking to find a rental property with a realtor. The person I spoke with said, well, I'm new to this and I want a realtor to walk me through it. Please understand that if you're trying to get a higher level of service, then it's going to be harder to get the prices that you're looking for because there's so many people. There's no inventory. Properties get gobbled up very fast. And there are professional investors nonstop. You can't compete with them who will pick something up instantaneously if it shows up on a publicly listed market. Okay. Now, let's pretend you do find a realtor who's investor friendly. You may have more access to things, but they're still likely going to be bringing you things that are on the market. So it'll still be a challenge. Finding properties that are not ready for market are going to give you a competitive advantage because you're not competing with everybody who is fighting over a property. So you have to find things that are not necessarily listed. You may be able to find a realtor who has other pocket listings, other properties they know about where they know there's a seller, but the seller hasn't gotten the property up for sale. Because in general, to sell something on the market, it has to be a mortgageable property. That means it has to be in livable condition that a bank would lend on. If the property is in poor state of repair, those properties don't really make it to the MLS because retail buyers aren't going to really buy them. If they do get listed, they're often listed for land, for land only because property is a tear down and they'll be listed as land, or they might be listed as with a property, but they'll say for land value. Okay. And they'll say like no inspections and things like that. Okay. If you want to get good deals in a place like Dallas, which is a very competitive market, where there are professional investors who all day long, all they do are hunt for deals, it's going to be really hard if you're not going to put in the time to find the deals and or to network with the people who are going to get you the deals. But there are a lot of wholesalers out there who know that this market is super hot. They are going to resell it to investors at a price where the margins are basically as much margin as they can get themselves and still sell the property. Okay, so a lot of times the margin is lost from the wholesaler. The best way to get a good deal is to go get it directly from the buyer, from the seller. So these could be like pre-foreclosures, but everybody's fighting for pre-foreclosures. Okay, those also get listed on public listings. If you know lawyers who do divorce cases, things like that, you can maybe get inside access to properties that are needing to be sold that might not get sold on the market in any way. Okay. There are a lot of ways to get things off market. People put bandit signs. People put like bandit signs are those things you put on like telephone poles or on the ground that say, call this number for whatever. And people go door knocking on properties that are on the pre-foreclosure list, or go door knocking on properties that are not in good repair. If you want to get a good deal, you have to be in a blue ocean. You have to be in a place where other people aren't bidding up the price. So that's the exact opposite of retail listings. Now, if you really want to buy a single family house and you don't want to buy it from a wholesaler, because wholesalers will often say you need to put a deposit of X amount of dollars, like $5,000 or $10,000. And you have to pay for it in cash in X number of days. And you don't have a whole team of like contractors and inspectors and all these people to run the property with you, and you don't really know how to quote a rehab. I mean, these are things that people do professionally. I've joined real estate investment associations where, you know, they teach all of these things, and there's a lot of stuff to learn. People make their entire careers doing this. If you go into it all by yourself, try to do everything yourself, it's going to be very hard to get the right property at the right price, retail-wise. Okay? Now, if you go to other locations where the numbers are different, it's a whole different story. You don't have to buy a property where you live. So many people say, well, I want to buy a property nearby so I can manage it myself. I don't know why would you want to give yourself more work to make less money, right? That makes no sense at all. You want to go invest where the money makes sense. Like if you're going to buy a stock or a mutual fund, you wouldn't buy a stock or a mutual fund that you knew would have less likelihood of having better returns than something else. You wouldn't do that. So don't have location bias just to where you live. And in another way, it actually, de-diversifies you and increases your risk, because if the local economy goes down, your rental property can get in trouble, your tenant might not be able to pay, and your own job could become in trouble as well as your own income. So you've lost potentially two different income streams. So for a lot of people getting started, it's very challenging to get started in real estate because they're trying to fit a square peg into a round circle. Now, you can network, you could join real estate investment groups locally and work with people who find deals. Okay, real estate is really a team sport. There are people who professionally find deals. And if you're somebody looking to get rental properties, there are going to be wholesalers who are looking to sell to you. Okay, and if you can find good wholesalers who aren't going to rip you off, which requires a networking, because in this space, really everybody's out for themselves. Wholesaling is a very vicious area. Okay, then you can do well. But trying to do everything all by yourself or just getting it through a realtor, you're setting yourself up to get a bad deal that's going to not make you money. That's just going to be more work and stress and headaches, and you're not going to get the positive benefit out of it. Now, you don't have to invest in single-family properties at all. Single-family properties are priced at market based on what people are buying for homesteads. So it's very hard to control price. You can buy larger properties. You can buy multifamily properties. You can buy larger properties. But if you don't have the capital, that's hard to do by yourself. Okay, but you can invest in groups. Okay, in larger deals, they're priced to market based on rental prices, not based on homestead prices. So you can get properties that cash flow better when you're competing with less retail buyers. Okay, when you scale up to bigger, scalable apartment complexes or otherwise. Okay, it is a lot easier to invest in a syndication and get 7% cash on cash return with zero stress, zero work. You're much more likely to get that 7% cash on cash with appreciation as well on top of that, because they are forcing appreciation on that asset, the syndicators in general, usually, than you are trying to buy yourself a single family home in a high cost of living area that you just happen to live in. Okay? Just live where you want to live, where the economy is incredible, but you don't have to force yourself to buy a single family property there just because you happen to live there. If you really want to do single family, you may be much better off finding properties elsewhere where the numbers make a lot more sense. Or invest in syndications where they're going to only invest where the deals make sense for everybody from the top to the bottom. Okay. But just trying to jump in, buy retail in a higher cost of living area or in an area where it's very competitive to find any housing with basically minimal inventory. It's just you're trying to do something that just can't readily be done, and you discover that after trying to find deals, and they're just not there. If there were great deals available, other people would have already gotten to them. Okay, you need to find some way to have some sort of a competitive advantage in order to actually get a good deal. All right, that is it for today. For episode number 113. It's nice to see so many people in here. When I broadcast in the afternoon, there's more people than when I broadcast super late at night. But I can only usually do this on Tuesdays. But I'm glad to see people here. If you're listening, please add questions to the Facebook group. I think I've caught up with most of them. There's a few questions that I'm still working on that I want to put together some more material before I discuss. But feel free to add more to the group, and I will try to get to them all. Until tomorrow, have a great night. Oh, my disclaimer. This is only for my entertainment, maybe yours. I'm not a certified or professional accountant, financial advisor, real estate agent, or anything else. All right. Have a good night.